Have you ever been laughed at? Not because you were a bad person, not because you had hurt anyone, but simply because people believed you were not smart enough. Being mocked again and again can slowly change a person's heart. Sometimes it can even change the way they see the world. Today's story is about a man who finally earned everyone's respect, but the way he earned it taught him the greatest lesson of his life. Welcome to Moon Hollow Stories. I'm your host, Rashid. Leave the noise behind and take a moment to slow down. This story isn't just meant to inspire you, it's meant to stay with you long after it ends. Now, let's begin. In a peaceful farming village lived a young carpenter named Nabil. Every day, he repaired broken doors, built sturdy tables, and crafted sturdy chairs for the villagers. His hands were skilled, but his words often confused people. Whenever someone explained something, Nabil misunderstood it. He gave strange answers to simple questions. Sometimes he laughed when everyone else stayed serious. Sometimes he became serious when everyone else laughed. Little by little, the villagers began calling him the foolish carpenter. People no longer spoke to Nabil because they wanted his opinion. They spoke to him because they expected another mistake. Whenever travelers passed through the village, someone pointed at Nabil and said, "Go ask him. You'll hear the funniest answer of your life." Every misunderstanding became a joke. Every mistake became entertainment. At first, Nabil forced himself to smile, but every laugh left another wound inside his heart. He knew he was not as clever as the others. He accepted that. What he could not accept was being treated as if his thoughts had no value. As the days passed, Nabil stopped joining conversations. He spoke only when someone asked him a question. Soon, he stopped speaking unless it was absolutely necessary. He hoped silence would protect him. It didn't. When he spoke, people laughed. When he stayed silent, people laughed even louder. No matter what he did, he could not escape their mockery. One evening, after another painful day, Nabil walked beyond the village toward the quiet riverside. Near an old banyan tree, he noticed an old wandering dervish sitting peacefully on a flat stone. The dervish was mending his worn cloak with a needle and thread. His face was calm. His eyes carried the peace of a man who had seen many seasons of life. As Nabil came closer, the old dervish smiled warmly. "You seem to be carrying something much heavier than wood," he said. Nabil quietly sat beside him. "My hands are not tired. My heart is." The old dervish listened without interrupting. After a long silence, Nabil finally spoke again. "Everyone believes I'm a fool. I make mistakes. I misunderstand people. I know that. But I don't want to spend my whole life being laughed at. I only want people to respect me." The old dervish looked into Nabil's eyes. Then he smiled gently. "There is a simple way." Nabil leaned forward. "Please tell me." The old dervish nodded. "Starting tomorrow, stop agreeing with people. When they praise something, ask what is wrong with it. When they admire something beautiful, ask them why it is beautiful. When they become certain, show them another possibility. Question everything. Never accept an answer too quickly." Nabil looked confused. "Will that really change the way people see me?" The old dervish smiled once again. "Do it for 7 days. Then come back here. I'll be waiting." Nabil thanked the old dervish. As he walked back toward the village, the advice sounded strange. But after years of being mocked, he felt he had nothing left to lose. The next morning, he decided to follow every word the old dervish had spoken. The next morning, Nabil walked into the village square. A farmer stood proudly beside his green fields. "What a beautiful season," the farmer said. "Our harvest will be better than ever." Nabil looked at the field for a moment. How can you be so sure? A single storm could destroy everything. What makes this season so perfect? The farmer tried to answer, but he couldn't find the right words. He simply smiled awkwardly and walked away. For the first time in Nabil's life, someone had become silent after speaking to him. A quiet confidence began to grow inside his heart. The following day, gentle rain fell across the village. Children laughed as they ran through the muddy paths. A woman looked at the sky and smiled. "This rain is a blessing," she said. Nabil calmly replied, "Is it really? If it keeps raining, the river could overflow. The fields might flood. The harvest could be ruined. Would you still call it a blessing?" The woman remained silent. She quietly continued walking. The next morning, the sun shone brightly. Several villagers enjoyed the warm weather. "What a wonderful day," one man said. Nabil gently shook his head. "What is wonderful about it? If this heat continues, the soil will dry up. The crops could die. Can you promise that won't happen?" No one answered. Once again, people walked away in silence. As the days passed, Nabil questioned everything he heard. When people admired a strong horse, he reminded them that every animal grows old. When someone praised a beautiful garden, he pointed out the weeds growing between the flowers. When the village blacksmith proudly showed his newest tool, he asked how long it would last before breaking. When young people shared their dreams, he explained every possible reason those dreams might fail. Whenever someone spoke about kindness, hope, or love, Nabil asked them to prove why those things truly mattered. Most people couldn't answer. Others simply didn't want to argue. By the fourth day, something unexpected happened. The laughter slowly disappeared. No longer did people call Nabil the foolish carpenter. Instead, they began speaking about him with respect. "Perhaps we've judged him unfairly," one villager whispered. "He notices things the rest of us ignore," another replied. Soon, people started asking for Nabil's opinion before making important decisions. Farmers asked him about their crops. Merchants asked him about new business plans. Young men gathered around him just to hear his thoughts. Because Nabil rarely praised anything, they believed he had very high standards. Because he questioned every idea, they assumed he understood life more deeply than everyone else. With every passing day, Nabil's confidence grew stronger. For the first time, people listened carefully whenever he spoke. For the first time, nobody laughed when he entered the village square. By the end of the seventh day, Nabil was no longer known as the foolish carpenter. He had become the man everyone wanted to hear. Feeling proud of himself, he walked towards the old banyan tree. The old wandering dervish was already waiting for him. The old wandering dervish looked up and smiled as Nabil approached. This time, a few villagers quietly followed behind him. They wanted to meet the wise man who had changed Nabil's life. Nabil bowed respectfully. "Master, your advice worked," he said. "No one laughs at me anymore. They respect me. They ask for my opinion. They even seek my advice before making important decisions. Please, tell me, what should I do next?" The old dervish smiled gently. "You don't need to do anything else. If you wish, you may continue exactly as you are." Nabil smiled with pride. He believed he had finally become a wise man. After a moment of silence, the old dervish asked, "Tell me, honestly, was it difficult to find something wrong with everything?" Nabil shook his head. "No. In fact, it became easier every single day." The old dervish slowly nodded. "I expected that answer. Finding faults is easy. You don't need great wisdom to criticize. You only need to look for what is weak, uncertain, or imperfect. Every person has flaws. Every plan has risks. Every beautiful thing has imperfections. Anyone can point them out. But very few people can see hope where others see fear. Very few people can notice goodness without ignoring reality." Nabil's smile slowly faded. He listened without saying a word. The old dervish continued. When people couldn't answer your questions, they assumed you were wiser than they were. And those who could answer often chose to remain silent, not because you were always right, but because arguing with someone who rejects everything is exhausting. Nabil lowered his head. He remembered every conversation from the past 7 days. He remembered the farmer who had smiled with hope, the woman who had welcomed the rain, the young men who had shared their dreams. One by one, he had filled their minds with doubt. He had earned their respect, but he had quietly taken away some of their joy. The old dervish picked up a small wildflower growing beside the tree. He held it in his hand. Then he pointed at the tiny thorn beneath it. You spent 7 days looking only at the thorn, but the flower was always there. He gently placed the flower back on the ground. Life is just like this. Every situation has two sides. One gives you a reason to complain. The other gives you a reason to grow. What you choose to search for will slowly become the world you live in. A negative mind can turn even a small problem into a heavy burden. Rain may ruin someone's journey, but the same rain can save a farmer's harvest. Failure may break your heart, but it can also teach lessons that success never could. The situation doesn't always change, your perspective does. Being positive doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist. It means facing them without losing hope. It means asking, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Tears slowly filled Nabil's eyes. For the first time, he understood the difference between sounding intelligent and truly being wise. From that day forward, he still asked questions, but he also learned to encourage people. He still noticed problems, but he also searched for possibilities. The respect he received was no longer built on doubt. It was built on kindness, balance, and understanding. Perhaps every life is like a coin with two sides. One side carries difficulty, the other carries opportunity. The side you choose to see will quietly shape the life you live. So whenever life gives you a reason to complain, pause for a moment. Look again. You may discover a lesson, a blessing, or a new beginning hidden on the other side. Until next time, take care of your mind and be kind to your heart.